From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Gila River police officers escorted the body of Joshua Bree to Billings Logan International Airport last night. He graduated from West High in 2020. And also this morning, we'll have the latest on the catastrophic landslide at Teton Pass and what this means for tourist season in Yellowstone Park. And in Billings, a man wakes up to police knocking on his door in search of a suspect who barricaded himself in a home. Good morning and welcome to Montana This Morning on this Tuesday, June 11th. I'm Augusta McDonnell with meteorologist Miller Robson. Good morning, Miller.
And welcome back, Augusta.
Thank you. Happy to be back. Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Yep.
We're looking at a pretty nice day today.
And I love the dress.
Thank you. Corresponds with the sunshine.
You have to keep that handy. That's exactly what we've got the next couple of days. Look at that beautiful start.
Really pretty out there.
Good morning, Billings. Everyone watching in Montana, Wyoming this morning, and even portions of South Dakota. We sure do appreciate you starting our day, the day with us. Yesterday, it was warm. Got up to about 82. We may beat that today. In fact, some of us may get into the 90s today. 82 for the high yesterday, 59 for the low. Both of those well above the norm for this time of the year. A top gust yesterday of 38 miles an hour. We could still see that for the next couple of days, especially along the western foothills and maybe over to our east as well. Generally, we're looking at gusts 15 to 30 miles an hour for the next couple of days. We did get a little bit of rain yesterday here in Billings as we had a frontal boundary pass through the area and a whole lot of rain. Monthly total right now, we're just over 10, or just over a tenth of an inch. We're below our average for the month, but for the year, we're still pacing ahead. Now, I'll be honest with you, we don't have a lot of rain in the forecast moving forward this week, although some of us may get lucky and get a few showers and maybe even a thunderstorm. Right now, we're sitting at 56, humidity at 67%, dew point temperatures at 45 degrees. Winds, it's breezy out of the southwest at about 14 miles an hour. Pretty quiet start this morning with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Warm and dry. That's basically what we're looking at over the next several days. We'll take a look at that up here in just a little bit.
All right, Miller, thank you so much for tracking that. And our top story this morning, a former Billings man killed in the line of duty as a police officer in Arizona will be laid to rest this week in Montana. His body arrived at the airport last night. Gila River police officers escorted the body of Joshua Bree to Billings International Airport. Officer Bree was 23 and died while trying to break up a disturbance on June 1st in the Gila River Indian community. He graduated from West High in 2020. His dad, David Bree, was a Yellowstone County Sheriff's deputy and died in a car crash while on duty on November 3rd of 2006. This past Saturday, about 1,500 law enforcement officers honored Officer Bree in Gilbert, Arizona. On Monday night, 3 Gila River officers helped lead the procession to the Dahl Funeral Home, where officers will stand watch over Bree's casket.
When something like this happens, it's all hands on deck. Everybody does what they can to help out. We're honored to have the other agencies here. Obviously, you know, tragic that we have to be here, but look at the support, just awesome.
A public casket viewing will take place at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning at the Metro Park Pavilion. At 11 a.m., a law enforcement procession will escort Officer Bree to the Rockvale Cemetery, and a graveside service will be held at 12:05 that afternoon. So if you're traveling through that area tomorrow, expect that procession to stop or delay traffic for some time. And it's only June, but Billings has seen 3 motorcycle fatalities since the year started and several other accidents as well. A Billings man, Joseph Kelly, passed away over the weekend after being involved in a crash up in the Heights. Our Alina Howder spoke with his friends and has more on why exercising motorcycle safety is so important.
Billings motorcycle community is mourning the loss of one of their own. 22-year-old Joseph Kelly succumbed to his injuries Sunday after an accident last week. It's a devastating reminder to stay safe on our roads.
Dozens of bikers gathered near the Rimrock Mall Sunday night.
I did what's called the Circle of Life for him. We solidified his legacy in a burnout in a circle.
Paying their respects to Billings man Joe Kelly, who lost his life Sunday after he crashed into the passenger side of a truck on his bike last week. The police report says Kelly was speeding.
He always put a smile on your face. You never saw Joe and didn't have a smile on your face. It happened.
Unfortunately for many, like Joe's good friend Seamus Miller Burrell, it's a familiar story.
This is my 4th friend I've had to bury this year.
Joe's death is the 3rd motorcycle fatality that's happened in Billings since the year began.
It gets really hard.
Importance of motorcycle safety.
We have to give 120, 180, 200% of our attention, because if we don't, we're gonna end up seeing God.
Especially since it seems to be getting more and more prevalent. According to Montana Highway Patrol, there have been 5 motorcycle fatalities statewide this year so far, an increase from 2022's 2 fatalities and 2023's 4 in the same time period.
The biker needs to understand too that, hey, there's rules and there's laws that need to be followed, and those laws are actually in place for your protection.
Whether it's wearing a helmet or slowing down on a ride, Rocky and Seamus hope Joe's death will be the last time they have to hold another rally for this reason.
We had a meet the other night, the night that we actually let him go. We were out there and there was like 1 star in the sky. And we were like, hey, look, it's Joe. So
in Billings, Alina Howder, MTN News.
Alina, thank you. And on Teton Pass, a road collapse is causing major problems at the start of the summer tourist season. That's down in Wyoming. From June through September, roughly 12,000 people use Highway 22 every day to reach destinations like Yellowstone National Park. All that remains now, looking at this footage, is an 80-foot drop, and it plummets into the valley below. Transportation officials say the mountainside had been shifting for decades at about 1/4 of an inch a year. But when large cracks reappeared immediately after repairs, they knew the collapse was inevitable.
It was moving about 6 inches an hour. And sometime during the night between Friday night and Saturday morning, it had catastrophic failure.
No one was injured, and it's unclear when the highway will reopen, and even just surveying the damage could take weeks. While officials look for some short-term relief options, traveling through this mountainous region could take up to 3 times as long. So plan for that if you're traveling through that area. And back here in Billings, a burglary suspect barricades himself inside a Billings garage. This is much to the shock of the man living inside that home. He was awakened by the sound of police knocking on his door early Sunday morning and was more than a little surprised at the reason why. Our Charlie Kleps picks up this story.
I'm taking a walk in the alley between Fox Road and Hewitt Drive, which is usually a pretty peaceful place, especially on Sundays, but that wasn't the case this week after police chased down a suspect, eventually arresting him in this innocent family's garage. The sound of a knock at your front door early on a Sunday morning can come as a bit of a surprise.
I woke up to Billings Police Department, make yourself known.
Even more so when the knock is from 4 armed police officers.
I was just so caught off guard by just the freaking 4 ARs pointed at me.
Hunter Morse wasn't the only one.
And there was cops loading their guns, putting body armor on, shields on.
Morse's neighbor directly across the alley, Taylor Collis, witnessed the whole thing on her way to work through this camera.
It was just crazy watching it live because I was like, we're in a rental house. I don't want anything to happen to that or anything like that. Or my kids, for a matter of fact, if it didn't go peacefully.
The officers were searching for a man named Nicholas Pearson, who had been running through yards in the area after fleeing an alleged burglary at a nearby business on Broadwater.
They just searching the whole house, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is genuinely going on right now?
The police believed Pearson was in Morse's home, and they weren't far off. The suspect found his way into the garage, locking himself inside.
Well, I've lived here for 22 years, and I don't know if that garage door has ever been locked in my entire life, actually.
That locked door was all the evidence they needed, and soon BPD had the suspect surrounded. Pearson surrendered without incident.
Honestly, I've never experienced anything like it, but I'm just glad nothing serious. Nobody seriously got injured or anything.
I've always read about it on the news and everything, but it's never been I'm the one witnessing or anything like that. So there was definitely of what's next to up our security to make sure that our kids are okay.
In Billings.
Charlie, thank you. And from the Capitol this morning, 3 separate requests to hold a special session of the Montana Legislature this month have fallen short. The Montana Secretary of State's office reported none of the proposals received the required 76 votes, which is a majority of lawmakers. The Secretary of State has to poll the legislature on whether they want to hold a special session. And that poll comes after a request from at least 10 lawmakers. All 3 requests came from Republicans. One, led by House Speaker Matt Regier, called for state-level action on illegal immigration and distribution of marijuana. that received Yellowstone Art Museum program services. Executive Director Jessica Ruley says the Art Museum was given just 30 days notice by the Yellowstone County Commissioners on the abrupt decision to make these cuts. She says that and even put some jobs there in harm's way. And the cut in county funding undermines the Art Museum's mission, she says, and it
artwork that you see here is part of we have our amazing camps happening right now. They're going on throughout the summer, and those are the kinds of things where we might have to make really difficult decisions going forward. It would be heartbreaking for us.
Ruley says she's hoping county commissioners will reverse their decision. A public hearing is scheduled for June 26th at the scheduled county commission meeting.